Freakonomics.
Freakonomics. Of course, that's the best-selling book, now updated and revised, by the way, and it reveals why we really do the things that we do. And in the process, it turns out most of the things that we thought we knew, we didn't really know. This morning's lesson, why our best intentions so often go astray. And joining us here is Freakonomics co-author Stephen Dubner. And Stephen, as always, it's great to have you on the program.
Thanks very much, David. Good to see you.
This morning, we're going to talk about a number of things. First of all, gift cards. They've become so wildly popular. What are the numbers on them as far as?
About $80 billion last year were given in gift cards. So the bulk of it during the holiday season, but they really last. They're really given throughout the year. So it's an awful big part of the economy now.
2/3 of us give gift cards at Christmas time.
Right. So if you were to poll you or me or the people here, the odds are that most of us have gotten and most of us have given. The question is, how do we use them?
In fact, we're going to pose that question to our audience here this morning. I just wanted to ask you, how many of you have received gift cards? Just show of hands. How many of you have received gift cards? Okay, the question is, how many of you have used them? So show us, used or not used?
All right. So these people are either well above average or lying through their teeth.
They're also
So the fact of the matter is that only 1 in 3 people actually uses a gift card within a month of getting it. And afterwards, it often goes to the sock drawer. 1 in 5 people will never use a gift card. And so what that means is that if $80 billion are bought on gift cards each year, about 10% at least, $8 billion is rolling around in the sock drawers of Americans right now.
So why don't we use them? Are we simply lazy?
You know, as it turns out, we're pretty bad at predicting our own behavior in a lot of ways. We can talk about that with the gym memberships in a minute. You know, the economists would say that gift giving is a weird thing in the first place because we value much less the gift that we're given than what we would get for ourselves. So an economist would say we should just give everybody cash, which is not a very heartwarming notion. So maybe we should consider, you know, having a Christmas registry the way you have bridal registries. You actually let people know what you want to get, and then when you get something, you value it more. Gift cards are lovely in a lot of ways, but they're very limiting. For merchants, they're terrific. Millions of people come into the merchants, give you billions of dollars for nothing more than a plastic IOU that often goes unredeemed.
You touched on something I wanted to talk about, and that is gym memberships. And we're going to turn back to the audience now. How many of you have gym memberships? Just raise your hand. How many of you have new gym memberships? Okay, now show us. How many of you use them, and how many of you have not used them?
So the bottom line here, some researchers did a wonderful study to look at what happens when people buy annual memberships. And not surprisingly, it's a commitment device, right? Kind of like marriages. We do it in order so we do something else. People join the gym in order so they'll work out a lot. They don't do it nearly as much. Most people would be much better off buying a daily pass or sometimes a monthly pass. The bad news is that we're very bad at predicting our future behavior in a lot of ways. The good news is that we're very optimistic, but the bad news is that we're very optimistic. In other words, it's nice to think that we think well of how well we'll do in the future, but most of us don't do that well. So if we can ratchet down our expectations, we'll be a little bit less unhappy.